Hey guys, Man Rabbit here in Medieval Minecraft. I know this doesn't look like a Medieval Minecraft episode, but I'm kind of starting another new map with a little test experiment I did in MCEdit, and also using World Painter, the two programs I mentioned before. See there's a biome change. I did a test of two small areas that generated both with different types of biomes in World Paint. What I did was I took the areas in MCEdit, opened them up. They were their own world. I opened them up, decided to cut and paste one part in, and there's an option in MCEdit where you can actually copy and paste the biome, and it worked. And this is, as I've been thinking about it, this is going to open up a large. Really, there's a huge opportunity for me to make this map the way I originally intended it, which is much larger in size. And I was not, as I told you before in some of the earlier episodes of this series, I wasn't too happy with the fact that in the world edit, or the world paint, I had to compromise and actually have a smaller world. But I had wanted things to be much larger. And as I was building that city Omen, as you saw in the last episode, I was a little bit upset that the fact that the city was not as large as I was hoping it to be. I actually wanted the city to be really just huge, this sprawling. And as I was working more and more on it, I started to think, well, if I'm going to do this, and I tried this thing here, if I'm going to make a change, I have to make a change now before I get too involved in the world I'm in now. Which basically is the second map. Will now be the third map I'm doing. This here is an experiment, but what you're going to see in this episode is just me generating a new map based off of my original hand-drawn pictures without having to edit it. The map is going to take a very, very long time to complete because what I'm doing it is in some very small chunks, sizable, so that my limited computer can handle it in both MCEdit and World Paint. So yeah, it's going to take a very long time. The map you're going to see in a minute here is my hand-drawn map. And in the hand-drawn map, this is a huge continent that I said we were going to do this for this show. And basically, I just wanted certain biomes to be able to be transported over properly. And that was what was limiting me from being able to make the map like by hand. So this is sort of a pulled out version of the entire continent. I have some hand-drawn things in here. I'll explain those in a minute. But this zoomed in view, I took two very large chunks in World Paint. This is what my current map will be, you'll see in a minute. I took two chunks, they're about 2,000 blocks by 2,000 blocks. I did two, and I transported the second one into it. And this is going to be the region, and looks a lot different than the map we had previously. There's going to be other areas of this map that I have to do major changes on my original map because I'm not happy with my original map in some things. As you see there, I changed some of the names. The cities of Paragon and Pentheus are actually going to be much larger, because I think if I had done them in the other world, they would have been just about the size of Omen, which really wasn't as big as I had hoped it would be. I'm going to restructure the land around that river opening. Here's sort of a pulled out view, and there's an area below, kind of south, where I'm going to have in a desert and a volcano. And the area around the city of Bard is going to be broken up into islands, and I haven't done that on this map, the hand-drawn one, but that's what's going to be worked on. So the rest of this episode is the world I generated in for those two squares of Omen. 2,000 by 2,000 each. So now my map is currently 2,000 blocks by 4,000, much smaller than the previous one. But what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to add in chunks of 2,000 by 2,000 as I go along, adding in new slices of this map, of the hand-drawn map you just saw, into this world. It's going to take a while to do this, but it's sort of holding me up as far as episodes go for the show, showing you some stuff I'm building. So this is the bay right here at the end of the river, and it opens up into the ocean. There's an area surrounded by some mountains. I wanted the landscape to look better, and I did that in this because I generated this whole map, and the landscape as a whole looks better. It's not like a lot of flat areas where I have to make my own terrain up on the fly and try and blend everything in nice. It's going to be better. So this area, it's taking a long time to load in here, but the map is sort of small anyway. So this is where Omen will be built. So a lot of those buildings we built over the earlier episodes of this series, most of the episodes will be transported into here. Most of the buildings we've done will be brought in here into this place. So we'll try and be able to build things more to the landscape now, because this area will have a lot of mountains and stuff, and we'll be able to build houses and things in the mountains, and it'll be just, the world will be much better for it, I think, in the long run for this, even though it's feeling like we're starting off again at the beginning. I think it's gonna just ultimately it's gonna be much better for me from my point of view, or just I want it to look and be the same as I drew on the map, as I sort of want it to be. So that's what most of this footage is. There's some things that, as you're trying to measure up the maps, these 2,000 by 2,000 square chunks, it's going to be kind of difficult to do. Lining up the rivers properly is going to be quite tough, as well as lining up mountains. That's why the seams of these maps, I may actually have to even make the chunks smaller, like 1,000 by 1,000, if my computer can't handle this, because it is a little bit tough to get the computer to do these copy paste routine for something so large in MCEdit. It's just it took about 2 hours just to do the splice job, and so yeah, it's going to be a little bit of work for me, but it's going to be good. I think this is it's going to be good. I'm going to try and do the border, some very large mountains south of Omen, which will lead into a huge forest, but not the big one. But this forest here, this large forest, will actually have those super large trees. So what I'll do is I'll generate in some of those super large trees, and you can actually see the forest as I want it to be, because it's a smaller forest to the south of the main elf forest. But a lot of that work we did with the elf stuff will be transported into here. Doing the elf area a little bit differently, but that huge wall will still be used, as well as a lot of those buildings. I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do. The main elf city may actually be inland, and I might actually do a port for the elf city and make that different shaped. I don't really know how I'm going to do a circular shape with the elf city yet. I really don't know how it's going to work, but I think I have some ideas that I could do it with world paint, with the brush tool, and I'll just go in and be able to change the landscape slightly to work with it. You know what I mean? So I can't really show that on here. I don't really have a beefy enough computer to show how I'm going to do it, but you'll see the results soon enough, I think. So I want to end this here. I don't want this to drag on too long, and just basically saying, yeah, you'll be getting new episodes still soon. Unfortunately, just going to be a lot of work to transplant and copy paste a lot of those buildings into this world. That's the hold up on the episodes. I'm also placing markers where I want the cities to be and certain towns to be. That's taking a little bit, and it's going to take a while. I have to plot the coordinates for the teleporting because the world's going to be so huge now. I'm going to have to do that. Then I was experimenting with, like here, some of the jagged landscape tool too. I may actually experiment some more with that. I'm hoping to get some canyons that actually look a lot better than those manually drawn ones that I made last episode that you saw. Well, last couple episodes where I was doing that small castle out in the landscape. So, and it's on a super flat world, but it's at the super flat world's a different level. So you'll know where the ends of the map are, but it's going to be pretty easy just to copy paste those things in. But lining up the biomes on the edges of the map is going to be tough too. Like, see how here's like a desert biome on the corner of the map. It's going to be a little bit difficult to line those sorts of things up. But that's the challenge I'm facing now. But I think I can make the landscape look so much better. I just think things can be much more huge and epic, which is what I was going for with this. But once I get this map set and start going with it, this will be the final map. A lot of work on my end. I'm hoping to someday maybe make this an adventure map and make a server out of it, but for now, no downloads or anything like that. Sorry, but I don't want to get people's hopes up by promising things I'm not ever going to do. But no downloads, but maybe someday, years from now, to be all this stuff will be a server or something, but that's not in the immediate future, for quite some time. Alright, adios folks.